Hello, this is Pixel Freak, and we're looking at part 35 of the Final Fantasy Dimensions walkthrough. So, I'm actually going to cut a lot of the commentary from these videos. I'm not going to do commentary on the whole thing anymore. The problem is that the game's going to end up being like 40 hours long. I've got like 100 parts to do. I'm only on, I think right now I have lined up for production part 45 or 50 or something like that. I'm about 10 parts ahead, so I've got a lot of production to do here. But I can't sit and talk through all of these. This is just going to take me way too long. So, starting with this video, I'm going to do a little bit of an introduction on these videos. I'm going to probably talk during the bosses section, and then I'll kind of browse through and I'll interrupt the game anytime that I see fit to make a few comments. On a lot of these videos, I'm going to cut as many of the battles out as I can, or at least I'll probably cut out like half of them, because that's a big problem in this game. There's a lot of random encounters in this game. It shouldn't be that bad. So I'm going to cut out as many as I can, as long as it makes sense for me to be doing so still. And hopefully I can get these videos cranked out and finish this walkthrough as soon as possible. I'd like to get on to the next walkthrough. I want to show more games. A lot of people actually come to my videos and come see the reviews. The reviews is the meat of my content, but unfortunately people find my reviews usually through my walkthroughs. So I want to do more walkthroughs to attract more people to watch my reviews, because the reviews, that's the fun part. That's the part that everyone seems to like on there, that I get a lot more comment traffic through those reviews, and I enjoy making the reviews a bit more. So I'd like to try to funnel more people that way if I can. Okay, so for this one, there's actually 2 bosses in here, and I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to shut up now and let you watch this until I get to the first boss. Alright, so this is the first boss, the Commander. So the one interesting thing about this fight is he does cast Shell on himself in the very beginning. That's going to make it so magic is somewhat difficult. So for this fight, your Dark Knight, just let him do physical attacks with your whatever other melee characters you have, and physical attacks there as well. If you have a Black Mage on your team, I would suggest switching his job, temporarily at least. If not, you can try and do some support or just attack with your hardest spells and hope that you do some decent damage through that shell. You may want to save your magic points. I'm not sure if you get a full refresh when you go to the next boss, but the next boss is a real boss. The Commander is just kind of like a sub-boss. He's a little harder than a normal guy. It's going to take you a few rounds to kill him, but he's not that difficult. After this fight, there's some story sequences that play, and then you end up with the real boss of this section of the story, which this is the end of this piece. Noct and his team will retire after this, and you'll go back to Seoul, and you'll continue on through the game. So here is the second boss of this piece of the game. This is actually a holdout fight, so he's going to attack you, and he actually hits you pretty hard. You might want to do some double healing if you can, maybe cast Sylph, even though Sylph is somewhat useless at this point in the game. You really just need to do as much damage as you possibly can, and just hold on until he finishes the fight by basically wiping all your guys out, and then you kind of have this story sequence that plays out, which is, at this point, I think, getting kind of old. I mean, that's already happened now a couple times where it's like, we beat you, and then all of a sudden someone brings you back to life, or something along those lines. Something or other in that vein happens here again in the story. But you do have to beat this battle. This is not a battle where you purposely have to lose. He will trigger an event once you get his HP so low, or once you've lasted so long in the fight. Just kind of proceed as normal, and then once it comes time for the fight to be over, he will end the fight for you. But aside from that, this is just a high damage fight. There's not a lot to it. You just need to employ a lot of healing and then do as much damage as you possibly can. Make sure to use a level healing tactic so that you don't run out of MP. Make sure you're not using too high of your healing spells. You want to use something that's kind of lower MP, cast quicker, but also you can do it for a long time. You gotta have a good balance in your healing strategy, or else you'll burn yourself out pretty quick. Also, it's probably worth noting that with Graham, you definitely don't want to be using your HP abilities because this guy hits pretty hard, and if you're doing a lot of those HP tap abilities to do damage to him, you're going to end up hurting yourself with Graham, and then you might actually wipe Graham out before the fight's over, which leads you in a little bit of a bad situation when it comes to your offense. So make sure to employ him very conservatively with his abilities. So that's going to be it for this piece of the video. This is going to retire the Noct team. We're going to go back to Soul. We're going to play through another piece of that before we get back to Noct again. Make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and until next time, this has been Pixel Freak.